Today I want to share with you a story about a laptop sticker that I had put on my laptop and what became of that sticker, and also what I am doing now, some new stickers that I got to replace it. So this is a sticker that was sent to me by the Adala Justice Project, which is a campaign that I had donated to seek justice in Palestine. And they sent me this sticker in the mail, and I've actually never put any laptop sticker on my laptop ever. I always just like the clean look of my laptop, my Apple logo. But this was the first sticker that I ever put on a laptop because I felt that it was a very important thing to say. And I think I had just read a very devastating story, and I just felt in that moment that I really wanted to share this message. So it simply says, Palestine will be free. And so I had that sticker on my laptop. I was harassed multiple times, and then I was advised by the manager of my building that my messages were making people uncomfortable and that they were provocative. And he just asked, why do it here, right? And so ever since that meeting, I just felt like I shouldn't be here. I should feel uncomfortable. I think that's what it really made me feel like. And so I found myself not, using my building, not going to the amenities, because I just felt like people would look down on me, or would not like me. And I guess I wanted to be liked, I didn't want to feel uncomfortable every time someone is walking by. And he told me that people don't talk to you about it, they talk to him about it, and that's why he's sharing this with me. So eventually I took off this sticker. Actually, before I got to that point, I wrote, I hand wrote on this sticker a message. It said, all for all prisoner exchange, and then end illegal occupation, ask your reps to speak out. And I added that because I had been confronted before by other neighbors, and I just wanted to say that I do care about the hostages, the Israeli hostages, but I also care about the Palestinian hostages that are held in Israel without any trial. And I certainly care about the 2 million people who are being starved to death and bombed to death in Gaza, and the people who are having their homes demolished and more in the West Bank, and shot in the head and everything. And so what I was confronted on by one person was, well, why don't you say anything about the hostages? And it's sort of like this big attack and dig, as though you're racist for, saying something about 2 million people and not saying something about the hundreds of people that were once held in Gaza as hostages. And so I appreciated the feedback, I guess, that people felt that way, and that's why I had added this note. And then I still felt uncomfortable even with this note, and I think it was also because it just kind of looked, sort of like sloppy, and maybe that's just me thinking, overthinking it, but I guess it just didn't look like a nice, clean look on my laptop anymore. And so after at least a number of months of having this on, I took this off. And it was kind of my friends urging. They're like, you're afraid to go out, because of this. And so you're staying in all the time, but you should be able to go out. It's important for you to, be healthy going out. And so I took this off. And obviously, some months have gone by. Situation's gotten worse, as it always is getting worse and worse. And now you see images and videos of kids that have been starved to death. And the whole policy of starving Gaza really is a policy that's targeting their children and their babies, because those are the people who will die first. And it's been debunked, by the way, that Hamas has tons and tons of food because, one, they haven't shown photos of the massive food storage that Hamas is said to have. And number two, I think when Israel did actually kill this Hamas major person, he was actually very deteriorated and had signs of starvation himself. So based on the actual factual visuals and reporting that you can get out of Gaza, there's no food over there. That's why so many countries are condemning it. That's why all the aid networks have lined up food all over the border that Israel isn't letting in. And allegedly, according to Israel, they're letting in some shipments, but what, like 5 trucks? And to feed 2 million people, you're gonna feed 2 million people with 5 trucks? So that's obviously just ridiculous. Like, just try feeding Boston with 5 trucks, you know. So obviously it's factual that people are starving to death, and it's also factual that there would be a lot more reporting on that had Israel not intentionally targeted and bombed so many journalists. And just go visit Jewish Voice for Peace if you're not sure about that story, because there's plenty of journalists that Israel has targeted. So anyway, let me get on with it. These are my new stickers that I ordered on Etsy. And I'm gonna put these on my laptop like this, basically, right? So the first one is "Your tax dollars fund genocide," and then it has a link to the US campaign for Palestinian rights. And then the second one is a principle message. Well, this is a factual message, right? And this is a principle and values-based message. It says, "There's no such thing as justified genocide." And then the third one is another fact-based message. It says, "The US gives $3.8 billion to the Israeli military each year." And then there's a little star and it says "at least," because I think in 2024 we gave like $20+ billion, which is a colossal amount of money. And one thing I like about these is that these QR codes here link out to an infographic, basically, that they put together. And it shows all the other things that the United States could have done with that money. You know, housing, healthcare, education, all the things that we could do to actually take care of our own people rather than using our money to fund other people's ethnic cleansing, genocide, and war crimes. And I think that's a very important message. It's in protesting, it's called like intercontextuality or intertextuality. It basically means that like so many movements are connected, like social justice is connected to environmental justice, is connected to animal rights. And the more that you can actually connect these justice movements, the more you're able to involve more people and build a bigger tent so that people are able to work together toward collective liberation. Because obviously if all you do is you get the Muslims in the United States to show up and protest for Gaza, you're gonna have a very limited movement. So we need to keep on growing that. I'm not Muslim, by the way. And so I think it's really important to keep showing that many other people care about Gaza. Many other people consider this a massive US issue, although it's also a world issue. Like, there should not be genocides in the world, but if there are, they certainly shouldn't be funded with US tax dollars. And if they are, they certainly shouldn't be funded with US tax dollars at the expense of all the other things that we could be doing with our money in the US. We have a lot of debt and we also have a lot of needs. I think you can look this up on Google or ChatGPT, but it's something like 1 out of 6 kids in the US is food insecure. Like, they may not have 3 full meals a day where they actually are able to have optimal development. Now, obviously, this is nothing compared to the images of kids like literally wasting away of starvation in Gaza, but there's better things we can do with our money, and that's one of the points of this. So anyway, one thing I have learned from my experience talking to building management and neighbors is that you have to have a decent comeback or a decent response ready, because if you do put things like this on your laptop, you have to expect that people will harass you about it. Sometimes people may be asking because they're genuinely curious why you feel this way or why you are protesting this. But in other cases, people are simply out there to make you uncomfortable, to make you silence yourself, which is effectively what happened here with this sticker that I folded in on itself. I kept it because I wanted to keep it in case I wanted to put it back on my laptop, but at the same time, I needed to go out. Anyway, so you have to have a response ready. And so let's walk through it. If someone comments on this one, your tax dollars fund genocide, my response to that is that you should go follow Jewish Voice for Peace. They're on Instagram, they're on Facebook, and you should look at all the daily reporting that they do because they share lots of stuff. Articles from New York Times, articles from The Guardian, reporting from all kinds of human rights monitors. You know what? But if for some reason you don't believe the actual reports that you're seeing, just go look at the biggest human rights groups in the world, Amnesty International and Human Rights Watch, and they've both listed numerous acts of genocide, which collectively ultimately mean that we're committing genocide, right? So your tax dollars do fund genocide because we are funding it. We're actually sending money to a country that is starving children to death, which is genocide, and preventing babies from surviving past their infancy because they're being starved to death. Also, by the way, just type into Google, is starvation a war crime? And one of the first things you'll see pop up is a Wikipedia article, and it says in the first sentence, starving a civilian population is a war crime. So anyway, but most people aren't going to listen to your answers. They really just want to, throw their insult in your face and leave. So you just have to have a nice punchy response. Mine for this particular one is going to be look up Jewish Voice for Peace. They're on Instagram, they're on Facebook. They list acts of genocide every single day that we are funding. And I think that's probably enough until the person, leaves the room. Okay, number 2. If someone harasses me about this, there's no such thing as justified genocide. What I would say about this is simply, do you agree with that statement? Do you agree that there is no such thing as justified genocide? And I think ultimately that's an answer that only they can give themselves. Like, they have to decide, yeah, there is such a thing as justified genocide. I like starving kids to death. Or they have to decide, no, there is no such thing as justified genocide. In which case, perhaps there's actually opportunity to create conversation and create some kind of agreement, I guess, that we shouldn't starve kids to death. But I will say this, one of the main reasons that I do wear these stickers isn't so much to create conflict with the people who just want to kill kids and slaughter everyone because they think everyone is guilty. It really is about finding allies and finding other people who care about this issue, people who I can invite out to protest and make our protest bigger. And also, it's about just showing the whole community that there are many people who do care. And it's about showing that it is okay to express that. It's okay to express your human values around being opposed to genocide or being opposed to starving kids to death. And right now we see that with like an influencer like Miss Rachel. She's willing to use her platform to go out there and hold these views out in public for people to see. That lets other influencers know that, hey, at least you won't be the first one or the second one. There's more. Macklemore, Billie Eilish, Phineas, there's a few other celebrities, and Mark Ruffalo, of course. But right now it's still very small. Just look at the Hollywood community, right? And even like within our building, I don't see any people, using stuff like this or going to protests and stuff. So it's just very important to show that it is okay to protest. And that's one of the reasons we want to have things like this, and show that it's okay. Okay, now the last one is this. It says the U.S. gives $3.8 billion to the Israeli military each year. So if someone wants to contradict this, I mean, like, that's easy to fact check. Just type that into Google. Does the U.S. give $4 billion a year to Israel? Yes. I think, what would it be? U.S. Congressional Budget Office that could verify that. ChatGPT could verify that. Google AI could verify that. We actually give a lot more, usually, because of all the extra reasons the Congress comes up with to give our money to a foreign government to use for evil purposes. So anyway, this is factually correct. I don't think that I should feel embarrassed to present facts to people and to present my values to people. If people don't want to be friends, if people don't want to talk to me, if people want to spread rumors about me, if people want to complain to building management about me, then I think that speaks to their character, or possibly just scarring, I guess, from a culture that has obviously been abused historically and now finds itself in some place of feeling that let's just say it's more susceptible to propaganda. Because I don't think that there's really any excusing genocide. I don't think there's any excusing ethnic cleansing. Like, these are crimes that are well known to be crimes, because fundamentally you're not treating other human beings the way you want to be treated. So that's the basic reason why I would say, like, there's no excusing it. You could try to understand it as some means of not just hating people. I think that one of the hardest things about this is that it does create a sense of fear and a sense of hate. For example, I read today that over 50% of the population of Israel supports not letting any aid into Gaza. That is killing babies, killing children. That's what they want. They want them to die so that they can get out 50 hostages that they haven't been able to get out, even though all they have to do to get out those 50 hostages is simply do a trade, an all-for-all trade, where they give up the people who they haven't even charged with crimes. They give up those. But anyway, fundamentally, it is a war crime. In Wikipedia, it's a war crime, starving a civilian population. There's no excusing it. And I think it's just important that we stand up against it. I would just add also, as I have in my previous videos, that I do condemn anti-Semitism. And one thing that I've been thinking about with regard to that is that it's really important that people be able to separate religion from ethnicity, from citizenship, from government. And all of these stickers are criticizing a government. It's not criticizing a religion. There's no religion that says you need to commit genocide or massacre kids or any of that. There's no religion that says you get to steal land from people, you get to bulldoze people's homes, you get to move in your own ethnicity and move out someone else's ethnicity. There's no religion that says that you get to ignore orders from the International Court of Justice, that you need to stop invading other people's land. That's not in any religion. So this is not an attack on religion, nor is it an attack on ethnicity, and nor is it even an attack on all Israelis, right? This is an attack specifically on the government that apparently is supported by about 50+% of Israelis right now, unfortunately. It's important that we speak up against this. Never again means never again for anyone. Okay, I'm going to put these on now, and let's see. I think this one would go well here. can already feel a sense of fear because I know that there's probably going to be more complaints to come, but I need to be confident because it's important. So I actually made a last minute call and decided that I want to change the third sticker so that it fits better and so that it creates a better emotional appeal. This is the third sticker I want to use, and I really want to get the placement just right.